A complete driving tour of Southgate in Houston, the neighborhood of Southgate in Houston, Texas by Rice University with yours truly. My name's Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for over 12 years, and I've been loving Houston since 1987. Let's get into it. So for my many videos, which I hope you've watched all of them, for my mini videos, I do quite a bit of historic reading. I buy historic Houston books whenever I can find them. I do a lot of online sleuthing, and sometimes I enjoy the origin of the name of something in Houston, like a street or a community. And this one will make you chuckle. Southgate is named Southgate because it is at the south gate of Rice University. At least that is what I've gleaned from my reading. And actually, in the research for this video, I was unable to find a very robust history of Southgate, like in some of my other videos when I do the history of some actual historic districts in Houston. So I'm giving you the most history that I can in a condensed and fun way. So I'm gonna give you a driving tour of every street in Southgate, and then I'll move over to a map view and kind of give you a bird's eye view of what we're going to be driving in. We'll talk about average price point for different products, the old non-renovated, old renovated, and new construction. We'll talk about lot size, and I'll give you some highlights. And of course, if you have questions, leave a question in the comments. I consider myself an expert in all things Houston, and I am here to answer your questions. And also, if you need help buying and selling residential real estate in Houston, I would be honored at a chance to earn your business. So, with the power of technology, I'll wave my magic wand and see you on the map. Hello, here I am. All right, as always, let's get our bearings. So Houston is really big, as I say on all of my videos. Here's Houston. We're gonna zoom in. Here's Rice University. Here is the zoo and all of the museums, Med Center. And just for reference, the Astrodome is down here, which by the way was completed in 1963/1964. Really fun time in Houston history. Let me come down here. So Med Center, zoo again. These are all of the museums. Rice University is here. And here is Southgate. We'll zoom in a little bit more. So I drove all of this here for you and I videoed it. And this is just a really good idea or good way to get to know the neighborhood without being here, especially if you're an out-of-town buyer, like if you're a doctor and you're needing to move here. I've had a lot of doctor clients in the last 10 years. And so I'm very well versed, and you move here, you have a mission, or you have a mission, you come here for 1 or 2 weekends, we shop, we offer, we negotiate, we inspect. Bada bing, bada boom. And if you are a doctor and you have about 1.6 million to spend, this is a great little community for you to consider because you can truly walk to the Med Center. I started this video here. This is Main Street. I started it, I came in from Holcomb and then I turned up Main Street. And in the video, I'm not going to edit. Not going to do a ton of editing. In the video, you'll see that I kind of got dead-ended, just for your reference, because the medical center is extremely busy. You cannot enter Southgate anywhere except if you turn on, you have to go up Main Street and then you have to turn on University. And then the first entry point is Travis. So just for your reference, there's virtually no vehicle traffic that can come into your neighborhood because this Hilton Houston here for the medical center is really big and it has a lot of traffic. And when you're on the ground and you're driving, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic and there's a lot of vehicle traffic. Because remember that this is the largest medical center in the world. And people come here from every single country to get medical care, and a lot of them are staying at this Hilton Houston. So if you don't like the busier, feel, then you're going to want to be on this side of Southgate rather than this side. So we're going to drive here, and then here's Southgate Boulevard, which I did video. And just to give you an idea, I'm recording this video in December of 2025, and currently the price range for an older house in original condition, so an older home built in the 30s or 40s, that is in completely original condition, or maybe they did a renovation in like the 50s, is in the 825 to 990 range. And if the house is old, but it's renovated, there are some beautiful, beautiful original houses that have been very well maintained and renovated. Those start at about 1.125 and they go up to about 1.7. And I looked at the last year of sold. So basically for the whole year of 2025, most of the houses that are like smoking hot, they go in less than a week. And some of them go as much as $100,000 to $150,000 over list price. So if you are in the 1.1 to 1.7 range and you love a house, I am preparing you now. When we make an offer, you're probably needing to go over list price about $50,000, if not closer to $90,000 over list price. So prepare your heart right now. And new construction. So Southgate is not a historical designated area. So we're not dealing with the historic district, even though it is historic-ish. It is not a designated historic area. That doesn't mean that may come in the future. Maybe we don't know what will happen in the future. But right now it is not a historic designation. So new construction. So you can buy an old house, knock it down, and build a large home. New construction starts at about 1.6 and it goes all the way up to about 2.9. Now, right now, the last 1 year of solds, the highest closed new construction is about 2.6, but there's currently one on the market under contract at about the 2.9 mark. So in the next few years, I would expect much appreciation in line with the quality of the neighborhood and the proximity to all of the wonderful, amazing things. So this area is never going to go down in value, in my opinion. And of course, we are close to the medical center, downtown, museums, U of H, zoo, Rice University, Rice Village. And this community is very accessible to West University and Bellaire. To get to West U, you would just come down to Holcomb. And I did another driving view of Holcomb / Bellaire Blvd. You just come down this road and it takes you all the way to 610. And Bellaire Blvd / Holcomb, it is not super congested. It does not feel as busy as like Westheimer or portions of San Felipe. So the Holcomb Bellaire route is pretty, I say peaceful. I prefer the peaceful route. So it's very easy accessibility to West University and Bellaire, and of course Rice Village, which is a ton of retail and restaurants. Now, I want to point out that this is Southgate here. Greenbrier is the border. Sorry about that. Greenbrier is the border. This is not Southgate. It's close to Southgate, but it's not Southgate. Those communities are like Windermere, Wessex, Barba Place, and Belcourt, and a couple other like legal description neighborhoods. But this portion is not considered Southgate. This here was Holcomb, University, Greenbrier, and Maine. This is Southgate. So without further ado, we will switch over to our driving tour. I hope you enjoy. And again, please leave any questions in the comments and I would be happy to answer.
Okay, and a reminder that I entered off of Holcomb in Maine. So I drove north on Maine to get to University, and then I entered Southgate from University because a reminder, You can't really get into the neighborhood from Main, which is the border between the neighborhood and the medical center. And so I'm starting on the east side of the neighborhood closest to the medical center, and I take us gradually west to the other side of the neighborhood that is closest bordering Greenbrier. And you'll notice that the neighborhood does change from east to west. And I talked about lot size, but I didn't tell you about it. So the average lot size is in the 8 to 9,000 range. Some of them are smaller in the 6,000 range. The range starts at about 4,200 and can go all the way up to the mid 12,000. The 12,000 square foot lot is going to be very rare and few and far between. The average you're going to see closer to about 8 or 9,000 square feet. So, and then the smaller lot sizes in the 4,000 range, some of the houses in Southgate are more of a townhome product rather than a single family home. Even though they're classified as single family homes and they have yards, they're the 2 or 3 story townhome-ish type of house, not more of the like traditional with the driveway and the front and the backyard and the garage. Now, when we were doing the map overview portion of this video earlier, I talked about how accessible this neighborhood is to other neighborhoods like West University and Bellaire. It's also very accessible to the northern neighborhoods just north of Rice University, like Shadow Lawn and Broad Acres, which is on the north and south boulevard area. So it's accessible to a lot of different areas. And even if you have friends up in the Heights, it's pretty easy. Now at rush hour, if you're getting to your friends in the Heights and in River Oaks, it could easily take you 30 to 45 minutes, but without traffic, it really only should be about a 12 to 18 minute journey. So it's relatively accessible to most parts of the city within the loop. If you're trying to get out to your friends in Memorial or Spring Branch, that will take significantly longer, especially at rush hour. So I just recommend if you're trying to get to your friends in Memorial, you don't go at rush hour, especially if you're leaving from the medical center at any of the rush hours. You will always have to deal with the medical center traffic being in Southgate, but likely if you live in Southgate, you need it for the location. And if you need to be in downtown Rice University, the medical center, or the museum area, this is a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood to focus on. Now, just south of this neighborhood is Old Braeswood. I've previously done a driving tour of the Old Braeswood neighborhood, and it's only a few moments away from Southgate. I also have driving tours of Braeswood Blvd, North and South Boulevard, and Shadow Lawn. If I have not done a driving tour of the neighborhood that you are interested in, please leave a comment and I will put it on my list.